She had the biggest smile as a granddaughter.
Senator, again, thank you so much for the invitation. This is a first for me to do it like this.
I'm delighted to have you here.
After your almost 48 years in the Senate, what are you most proud of? I mean, and I think of that, I asked that question for your role in the United States, in the world, and for Vermont.
I think I kept my Vermont values and my integrity. I cast over 17,000 votes. I'm sure I could go back and look at them and say, what was I thinking? But when I cast them, I thought I was doing the right thing. I mean, I've been here only 3 months as the junior-most member of the Senate. We had a vote whether we'd stop the Vietnam War or not. We'd had members who criticized the war, but no Vermonter had ever voted to stop the funding. I voted that way. We had 5 votes in a row. Each one, the funding for the war in Vietnam was defeated by 1 vote. You can imagine the pressure I was getting. I was told that I'd never be reelected. I thought, that's the case. It's worth it. It's worth it to do it for that vote. Not enough people are doing that. Well, let's take a poll on this. Take a poll, use your integrity. And as a result, I've been able to do a lot for Vermont. I mean, look at Lake Champlain, the almost doubling of the Vermont National Forest, starting organic food as a Vermont idea. It's now a $50–60 billion industry. I've changed the world by one thing, the Leahy law that passed first here in the United States. It's followed by so many other countries banning the export of landmines. Now you have rogue countries like Russia, where Putin's a war criminal. They've used it, but it's helped around the world. And the Leahy War Victims Fund has helped, well, war victims around the world, countries big and small.
After 48 years in the Senate, what would you change if you could?
I'd like to have us go back to the days when senators spent more time with each other and both parties and seek common ground. Certainly there are going to be some things where we disagree. Fine, do so. But seek common ground on most things.
Is there any way to get back to that collegiality? And I think of Congress, the Senate, the House, and the nation as a whole. Is there any way to get back to that?
I'm very worried. If we don't get back to it, this country is going to be severely damaged. We're the wealthiest, most powerful nation on earth. And we have over 300 million Americans. We have a responsibility to the Americans. We have a responsibility to the rest of the world. We're not carrying it out doing that way.
You talked about one of your first votes, your Vietnam vote, very early on in your career. What do you think is going to be your last vote?
Well, I wish it'd be the Voting Rights Act, updated. Probably one of the last will be funding for next year, the so-called omnibus. Be referred to as the Leahy bill on the floor. I just want it passed. I never thought I'd be writing a bill with $1.7 trillion in it and balancing thousands of interests to make it work. To think I'd actually be doing something like that, guiding a bill like that, I would have said that's impossible. How's that for you? But this I will miss, because I come out here